However, as you can see, there is pointlessly a stupid wall in front of you. And I've seen this more in survival horror games, where they pointlessly put something you could easily climb over. But really, why? Why do they force you to go so far through all of these sections with your weapon breaking and all this crap happening and all these fights? In Dark Souls 1 and Demon Souls, it was easier to do that because the levels were better designed and you would open up shortcuts and eventually, gradually make your way through the area. But what you have to do here is either go through this area, which is difficult because it's an invasion area. I'm not going to talk about it just yet. But this is an area full of player characters trying to invade you and kill you, which makes it pretty difficult. But what you can do, which may take several tries, but we got lucky, is to jump down there with the cat ring or other stuff to prevent item damage, and just jump down from here. So you can use that bonfire to start at the middle of the level, which you should. Also going to be killing this guy with arrows, because, fuck him, right? And then we're going to be going on and opening up the other bonfire of this area in Aigil's Idol, which is inside of that giant minotaur head we saw at the very beginning of the game. Obviously, if I had a good bow, this would be much easier. Okay. Let's take a look for a second at what we opened up with that dull idol. Where is it? Or dull ember, excuse me. Where is it? Keys? Is that where it is? Yes. Yes, it is. The dull ember will help us unlock McDuff, the crime blacksmith, over in the Lost Bastille. And this was a big change from Dark Souls 1, because originally you had to get 2 embers in order to climb over the wall of +5 to +6 and +10 to +11 in item upgrades. However, in this game, you just need this 1 dull ember to upgrade, to get to a blacksmith in order to get elemental infusions. Much easier. I'm going to show you something slightly funny for a little bit of levity. This guy can be killed pretty quickly by aggroing him. He will move forward. Maybe he will be burned by that, we don't know. Yes, he will, and he is dead. If you don't feel like doing that, you can bring him over there and wait until he's that place where those 2 turtle knights are, and then just pull this, and send them all to their death in lava. Lord, that feels good. It really, really does. I'm going to be putting on the Great Club here, because there is one of those pesky... I'm going to take my pants off because I feel sexy. No, because I would be heavy rolling otherwise. One of those pesky Titanite lizards nearby. Crystal lizards, excuse me. And he's a little tricky because he's next to all this fire. But let's try to get him with this weapon. Did we get him? Yes, we did. Fuck you, Crystal Lizard. And we got a Titanite chunk, the next upgrade path. Very nice. I'm just going to put my other stuff back on. I'm going to put my pants back on. Feel a little dirty taking them off. And claymore back on. Very nice. And this next area seems like it was designed to be like that place I mentioned earlier with the 2 Knights of Arolondo, because we have 2 knights over there who could fire great bows at us, but mysteriously those guys are doing nothing, and I don't know why, unless they realize that this would be virtually impossible and enrage people beyond their ability to tolerate it. And, however, that guy is firing arrows at you down there. So, I don't know what they were doing originally. We're going to go across here, we're going to wait here, and we're going to go right. And we're going to, even now they're not firing at us, which is kind of strange. And if you go across here, you press a pressure plate, and... ha 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 ha. He falls to his death. This I don't think is important. No, just a soul item. Now there's an enemy up here that we're going to be aggroing, and it's just another Alad. Alad Knight is waiting to jump down on us, like the Spanish Inquisition, and surprise us. And we've got more of those turtle knights down there. that we can take out. Again, what was this area used for before it was lava covered? It doesn't look like someone could inhabit this place. Oops. Thought I could... Damn you, lock-on. I will give them this. The lock-on in this game is better than it was in Demon's Souls. That lock-on could sometimes get me killed. But the lock-on in all of the games can get you killed because it can aggro inexplicably far-away characters that have seemingly nothing to do with what you were trying to lock on to. Wow, I did not know how I lived through that. That was a little peculiar. Next we're going to have an area where there is a little bit of fun to be had, but you have to be very careful. Again, I don't know what this item, what this thing could have been before, you know, it was a joke in a video game. If you open this up, and there will be an ironclad right on the other side there. Just wait a little bit. Aggro him. If you come over here, you can wait right here and get him to fight at this point. And get him dead. That's very fun to do. I really enjoy that. But really, it can be dangerous if you do not quite know what you're doing. And, well, it looks like I'm going to get hit by the fire. That is a lightning short bow, that item there, which we will be picking up in just a moment. Some people missed this ladder. I don't know how they did, because I saw it right away. Maybe they went the other way, they went right, but whatever. But that trap down there, it's gotten me killed on more than a few occasions because I mistimed it and ended up with the thing closing behind me, and I had nowhere to run, and just the Turtle Knight right in front of me. And here we have the bonfire right before the final boss, which is very nice. And the fire is gone. You can see we're inside of the head of that thing there. You can actually see, I think, is that the starting area we were in? Very likely it is. And over here is the boss area, I think. Or near it. Endless fields of lava. In the DLC it looks a lot cooler because it has endless fields of ash, which just looks more photogenic to me. And we're actually going to go back to the way we came. And we are going to find some extra stuff over there. Also discover the lightning short bow here, which is very nice. It'll now do split lightning and physical damage. I think that's a little better than our regular bow, because we have virtually no scaling, because we just have base dexterity in order to use it. Okie dokie. And this next area just contains a, like I said, the Mimic, and I don't think I mentioned this before, but all of the Mimics in this part of the game contain one piece of the Dark set, a set that makes you look as if you are a skeleton. Ooh, this is dangerous. Ooh, got lucky though. That is a pyromancy way down there on those lava rocks, but it's very difficult to get. And here is our Mimic. This kind of confused people at first, because I think they'd gotten to this point that it was only the wooden chests that could be mimics. But no, the iron ones could be too. 3... No! No! I'm dead! Fuck me! Why do I look red? Fucking hell! Ugh! God damn it. Fuck. Wow, I'm just playing badly tonight. I don't know what's going on. I can usually quickly get through this area, but just playing like shit today. Going to go try that again. Fight some of these stupid Turtle Knights yet again. Maybe this is why I don't like this area. The cold, miserable grind. I also don't like how these guys prevent you from running away or rolling away because you sort of shake because they're so heavy when you move. I really dislike that. Did get their gauntlets, though. That's something. Yeah. Fuck you, Turtle Man. You think I care? Fuck off. And we have this guy again. Boy, I tell you, in Dark Souls 1, I never get into this kind of malaise with a level. It never really happens. Come on. He doesn't want to come down the stairs and take his medicine. And where's that other ironclad? Come on, boy. Come on. Oh, darn it. Oh, Lord. Oh, goodness. That's the direct hit system. Only did 127 damage there. I don't like when the game ever takes any control away from me. And when I was there and I sort of staggered a bit because the enemy was supposed to be so incredibly heavy, I really don't like that. I don't remember many moments like that in Dark Souls 1. You should always be able to roll away from an enemy. There we go. Oh, and another large Titanite shard. That's nice. This item, I don't usually even go up here, which is why I don't even bother with this, because this item is actually pretty useless. Boy, this is going to take a while. I'm sorry about this, guys. But it's better than all of them aggroing, right? Right? Something I noticed in one of the levels is that if you are zooming in on the attack like that with your bow, and the enemy knocks you flat on the ground, you will stay in that stance as if you are still watching. Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. Oh, my fucking God. Fuck this. Fucking hell. Oh my fucking God. Ugh. I forgot that I need to get over here and turn this, that thing goes back. I didn't even know that thing goes back up. Alright. Kinda just want to get this, this level done, to be honest. One thing that is nice about this game versus Demon Souls is that the enemy will, is that your character, rather, will not take his sweet time looking at an item. He will pick it up and go, unlike in Demon Souls where he just spends forever looking at it, you know, just staring at the thing, as if it's the most wondrous item he could ever imagine on Earth. And we got some of the dark armor that kind of like makes you look like a skeleton. Oh no, that's not it. There's no really need to kill him at this point, other than, you know, revenge for fucking murdering me and making me do all that shit again. That's the penalties of wanting to spice things up by using other weapons. These are arrows that you can use with your great bow. Not that useful for me, but I want to show you that they're here. This next area is also, say it with me, kids, a gank. It's a big pile of enemies that you have to fight all at once, all of them with great bows. And that's another useless Pharos Lockstone place there. No need for that. And I will be cheesing them with arrows because I am Sir Fromage, Knight of Cheese. There's also one to the right that you can't see at this moment. But why they would think this is a good design choice is because they're lazy. There's no other place for it. The people that designed this game have been called From Software's B team, and that seems pretty accurate. I mean, this does not seem like it would have passed muster in Dark Souls 1 or 2. You'll notice there I tried to use one of the arrows, and this happens. Yeah, I don't like that. I think that if it's nothing there, you should just not do anything at all. Your character shouldn't go into this little wah. It really makes me feel like this person is not me. It's someone being ordered around by me, because it doesn't look. It looks a little silly, to be honest. This item down here is the Black Knight Great Axe. And it's not an especially good weapon. I don't think I even used it at all in Dark Souls 2. I did use the Great Axe of the Black Knights in Dark Souls 1. Something that they changed about the Black Knight weapons in this game is that they added fire attacks to all of them, which seems a little odd to me because, you know, the original people were consumed by fire. You know, fire murdered them. So they're adding fire attacks. Seems a little bit insulting, but there you go. I know this is cheesy, but I've died several times. A lot of it to jumping, and that pisses me off. So, yeah. I'm not as animated. And like I already said, I'm not that fond of this level. I'm not as animated as I might be. There we go. And what is this down here? Simpleton Spice. And also, what is this just? What does this message say? For the Black Knight Great Axe. Nice job. Well. Fine. That's all I can muster. Alright. I don't think there's anything useful down here. I might want to bring up now something that has pissed me off for around a year now. There was a famous YouTuber who knows a lot about the Souls series who made a video around the time of release, and he specifically said in this to look for hidden items that were out of the way and to try to find them in the game, which made me feel that he was deliberately trolling people, or that he just didn't know what the heck he was talking about, because I began to do this in the game, and every single time there is an item like that that is ridiculously far out of the way and looks like it would almost kill you just to get it, it's not worth it. And I'm not actually going to get that item because I don't feel like it, because I've died too many damn times today, and especially because that item is the gold serpent ring, the regular gold serpent ring, not the +1. What they should have done is have Magarol give you the regular one, and then you get the +1 one later on. That is the... It's ridiculous how many times that happens in this game. I'm just going to pop back to Majula and spend some of these spells. I had planned on maybe finishing the episode by killing the Old Iron King, which I will probably attempt to do. I'm not quite sure what weapon I want to use next. I was thinking of maybe trying the giant stone axe, again just to keep up with the how that I'm changing items quite a lot, and especially now I might also pop over to our good friend what's his face. We all know what's his face now. To my good friend McDuff, the crime blacksmith, and see what he has to say now that we have our fancy schmancy new ember. Let's see if we can get some levels. Maybe I can get some levels so I don't die so quickly. But then again, I was dying because of my own stupidity, not because of my levels. Yeah. Land swallow, whatever. A little more of that. A little more of this. Some more of that. little more adaptability. There we go. And I'm already level 65. I haven't even defeated a Lord Soul yet, and I'm already level 65. Something seems a bit wrong about that, but they're giving souls away like candy in this game. Let's see if I can take down the Old Iron King. He is not, I would say he's the easiest of the 4 Lord Souls, although the Rotten is a strong contender. Although maybe he is second place, because the trip down there is pretty difficult through that pit in Majula. There's an old ironclad here who is obnoxiously blocking the way. The Old Iron King is a Balrog. Simply put, he is just a Balrog. He is also somehow related to Lord Gwyn from the original... Oh, thank you, sir. I don't have to fight him now. Very nice. And this boss fight is fought perilously close to all of this lava, and you can very easily fall in. And this Balrog is standing waist deep inside of the lava, as we'll see in a moment. He also feels like a very video gamey boss. Like the bosses and enemies need to look like they have a life and existence outside of the game. This guy doesn't seem to, and he seems so generically evil. This huge demon creature. He doesn't seem really all that. Doesn't seem all that scary. It's not super cool like the Balrog in The Lord of the Rings. Just be aware behind you, there is a pit of lava back there that you can fall into, and I may fall into. He will do his standard punch attacks. He will do 2 of them in a row, and then that one, and then you can hammer him home. He will also do a couple of other attacks. The only dangerous attack that he does is a fire breath attack, and it's difficult because it's hard to avoid. He's probably going to do that at some point. Those things are really easy to avoid, even if I had lower adaptability. Whoa! Also pounding his fists on the ground here. Later on, that will do an explosion of fire. That's the only point that really makes that dangerous. He's just too easy to roll around. Well, I did take a little bit of damage there. His fire is the dangerous part. Ha! Which he has not done yet, is a little unusual. Although I have been in this place and he's just spammed the fire like crazy. So, you know, this is not the fire, this is something else. Whoa! Okay. Usually does not do that one. There we go, there's the fire. And just try to go back here and he can still hit you here. And he can move around by jumping down into the lava. He's doing another attack, that laser hand attack. And that can go through the wall of that building, so standing behind there is not that useful. Fire. If he was a little bit closer to us, a little bit more to our right, he would be able to do a lot more serious damage with that fire, because we would be unable to move aside. We would just have to take it and hope our shield could do it. He can move around a lot around here, but it's not terribly dangerous. Whoa! Okay. That was very close to killing us. This boss also noticeably does not change in New Game Plus, unlike, I think, most of... well, not all the other. The 2 easy ones, this one and the Rotten, do not change in New Game Plus. I guess because they're the easy ones. Whoop! That fire. I don't think he can hit me with the fire here, but, you know, better safe than sorry, right? It's really not so much the fire as being knocked off. That could hit me, and it will. Oh, well, I got lucky. It's not really the fire that's the damage, it's being knocked off by the fire. That really is the damage. That little laser beam, too, is actually something you want him to do, because it's easy to dodge and it leaves him vulnerable. This does not, though. Fuck. I'm gonna take the opportunity to heal rather than... Fire! Fuck! Shit. I may be dead. Oh, I got lucky. Thank the Lord. If you're a spellcaster, you'd also just really easily cheese him, because you can just hit him in the face this entire time, essentially. And he can't do anything about it. And he would have long ago been dead. And there he is. The old Iron King dead. Great Soul embraced. Our first Great Soul. The soul of the old Iron King will yield a gigantic hammer-like weapon that does fire damage. Obviously. I mean, obviously it does fire damage. And, you also get some Sublime Bone Dust. Now, in this next area, that place behind us, that next door, that's to the DLC. I'm not going to go there yet. I want to wait a while. But this is a primal bonfire. What exactly that is, I'm not sure. I guess it's one of the oldest bonfires in existence or something, or I'm not sure about that. But we also have the bones sort of broken and hanging down there. I guess it looks old. You cannot warp to this bonfire, by the way, only from this bonfire back to the far fire, which we will do now. I think the next area that I'm going to go to is probably the Black Gulch, where we can fight the Rotten, because that's the next easiest area that you want to go to. But I'm going to do this as well. Level myself up a bit, get some adaptability. Gotta have that agility. And we're going to be getting a bow eventually, so I might as well put that up. Also, I just want to show you that Black Knight Great Axe right here. I cannot even come close to using it. You need 18 dex. And I think all of the Black Knight weapons require at least a minimum amount of intelligence and faith, which is probably why people tend not to use these things. They did not have that, I think, in Dark Souls 1. It looks a little too ornate to me, a little too fancy. It also doesn't have a cool... I think in the original game it had a cool leaping attack that you can do with it, but I don't know if you have that in this game. What kind of scaling does it have? I don't know what it gets. It starts out with a C in strength. I have a feeling it may get higher, but I don't really like the weapon, so I'm not going to be using it. Let's go talk to McDuff. McDuff will, when we unlock him, sell an unlimited amount of large Titanite shards. So now we have an unlimited amount of regular and large, and that is fantastic. He will also sell a number of items I will talk about momentarily. Let's listen to him for a bit.
So, hand that ember to me. Right now, you imbecile. What a marvelous ember. You've got stones, I pray. Give me stones, and I'll fortify your gear. Flame, deep, I give you my all, and you waver and falter. From the start of time, flame allowed man to flourish, and even now he devises new fiery arts, but his reason makes him doubt flame. And so we waver and falter. The power of flame, power of the gods. In the end, it is all beyond our reach. And so, flame allures us, and we attempt to harness its power. Flame.
Okay, you have a lot to tell us there. That's actually some cool lore-related stuff about fire being the essence of life, essentially, and always fading and always growing again. But anyway. He will sell a bastard sword. You obviously don't need this. You can just pick one up. He will also sell an Uchi katana, which is actually superior to the black katana, steel katana we picked up. It has a better moveset, so you probably want to use this one rather than the black steel one if you're going for a katana. Also the Great Axe, a giant heavy axe, which is kind of fun to play around with for a strength character. I was thinking maybe of getting this later, but there's another axe I also wanted to try out. Winged spear, we already have one. This is a pretty basic spear. It's pretty good. But I think the Partisan is better. Certainly in Dark Souls 1 it was. The Scythe, not that great a weapon, especially compared to the Great Scythe. In Dark Souls 1, the Great Scythe was one of the best weapons in the entire game. If not the best one, at least in Dex. It was great. This Royal Kite Shield is actually pretty darn good. It has 100% physical damage reduction, which is great. It has 45 magic, 65 fire, 50 lightning, 40 dark, so it's actually pretty darn good, but you've probably already gotten a good one by this point. There's also a longbow. This is the most important thing that he sells among the weapons. However, you can get a longbow +7, already upgraded to +7 at the very beginning of the Sunken Crown DLC, which is just past the Rotten. So I'm going to be waiting on that. If you don't have that Sunken Crown DLC, you'll probably want to pick one up here and start jamming it with some of those upgrade items. Also, he sells an unlimited amount of iron arrows and heavy bolts, which is nice. And iron great arrows, an unlimited amount? Really? Oh, I didn't know that. And one repair powder, pretty measly. He should start selling an infinite amount now, even if you don't have the money for it. You have to wait a long time before meeting the guy who sells an infinite amount of this. But also an unlimited amount of large Titanite shards, which is, of course, amazing, and something we really, really want. We also have here Infuse Weapon. He's the only person in the game that can do this. He will add either a type of elemental damage to our weapon. He'll add, I think this is magic, and fire, lightning, dark, poison, bleed, raw, magic, and mundane. Mundane is a very confusing and difficult upgrade path that I didn't explore very much, but it involves making a very peculiar build. Enchanted is something that adds intelligence scaling to a weapon, but doesn't change the physical nature of the weapon's damage. This confused me when I first came across it in DS1. It still keeps the weapon damage physical, but it makes the scaling go up highly with magic. I don't think this is especially useful. I don't really care for it, to be honest. It's kind of confusing, and plus, if you go to magic, it will scale there with magic anyway, and usually much higher, but it will split the magic between physical and magic damage. But, well then, I mean, why not just do this? This makes much more sense, especially because you have that B there with magic scaling, rather than a D. It's just common sense. Fire and lightning are pretty obvious. Dark is here. Poison and bleed are not very useful. I would largely avoid doing this, because these two status effects do not have the cachet that they did in the original game that made them cool. In this one, they're just kind of pointless. Raw is a very interesting upgrade path that I didn't really understand for quite a while on DS1. But what it does is remove scaling and adds base physical attacks. See, it makes our Claymore go down from a C scaling to an E, but it goes 232 regular up to 266. However, 232, if we had that C scaling, we would get plus much higher than what we got with just this extra 30 damage points here. What Raw is useful for is only for things that have virtually none, or better yet, no scaling whatsoever. For instance, crossbows should be upgraded with the Raw path, because you can squeeze out that little extra bit of physical damage. You can also de-upgrade things. That's that bottom one there. That has a little circle around it. I don't feel like upgrading any of my items right now, so I will not. And I believe... Tell me to be gone. I believe I'm going to end the episode right here. I will come back and we will probably be starting our descent into the gutter and the Black Gulch to fight the Rotten. Until then, it's been an unfortunate episode, and I'm sorry about that because I don't really like this area and I died a couple of times, so my streak is definitely going down. But I will see you in the next one.